Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. Donald Trump had an interview, I think on Sunday on Sunday, right? And it happened that everything on Project 2025 is what that is playing out. Some people thought it was a joke. Man, this is no joke. It's about to turn to reality. It's about to be a movie, right? So they were asking him about citizenship by birth. He said as soon as he's the one that he is terminating that ain't anything like citizenship by birth. So they also asked him about deportation. What about people that probably came into the country illegally, but their kids are born in the United States, and when the deportation starts, so how is it going to start? He said probably because he does not want to separate families, right? That if your mother is also illegal in the country, I mean that they are sending both the child and the parents back home. It's beginning to look like Christmas already. You all can see the decorations all over, right? It's already playing out. This was what Black people were avoiding. And they told you people, you all thought they were ignorant. Now, Obamacare also is going because to him it is nothing to why would that it's a stupid scheme, right? That they are canceling it. You all know a lot of people's lives are afloat because of Obamacare. I really did not get it. It's really going to be tough. Let's get into this video.
Like you promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive.
Hey Siri, what countries have birthright citizenship?
Many countries offer birthright citizenship. Some of the most popular include the United States, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Argentina, and Costa Rica, among others.
Pretty sad to know that our president-elect, Donald Trump, does zero research. No wonder why he says he loves the poorly educated. People will listen to that clip from him and really believe that the United States of America is the only nation in the world that does birthright citizenship. In fact, United States citizenship can be acquired by birthright in two situations: by virtue of the person's birth within the United States territory, or because at least one of their parents was a U.S. citizen at the time of the person's birth. This is guaranteed by our 14th Amendment. Donald Trump hates the 14th Amendment. Do you know why? Because it was under Amendment 14, Section 3 that Donald Trump was also supposed to be disqualified for partaking in an insurrection. But of course, the Supreme Court found a way to favor Donald Trump. Let's hope they don't do it for the birthright citizenship as well.
Well. This is for all of you Trump sympathizers, Trump supporters, and MAGA nuts that get down in my comment section and tell the rest of us not to freak out that Donald Trump didn't implement any of these plans the last time, and he's not going to implement those plans this time.
You promised to end birthright citizenship on day one. Is that still your plan?
Yeah, absolutely.
The 14th Amendment, though, says that, quote, all persons born in the United States are citizens. Can you get around the 14th Amendment with an executive action?
We're going to have to get a change. We'll maybe have to go back to the people, but we have to end it. We're the only country that has it.
Through an executive action?
You know, we're the only country that has it. Do you know, if somebody sets a foot, just a foot, 1 foot, you don't need to, on our land, congratulations, you are now a citizen of the United States of America. Yes, we're going to end that because it's ridiculous.
Through executive action?
Well, if we can, through executive action. I was going to do it through executive action, but then we had to fix COVID first, to be honest with you. We have to end it.
4 million families in America who have mixed immigration status. So I'm talking about parents who might be here illegally, but the kids are here legally. Your borders are.
You're talking about separation.
Yeah, well, I mean, there are two aspects to this. Your border czar, Tom Homan, said they can be deported together.
Correct.
Is that the plan?
Well, that way you keep well, I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together and you have to send them all back.
Even kids who are here legally?
Well, what you going to do if they want to stay with the father? Look, we have to have rules and regulations. You can always find something out like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. I'll tell you what's going to be horrible. When we take a wonderful young woman who's with a criminal, and they show the woman, and she could stay by the law, but they show the woman being taken out, or they want her out, and your cameras are focused on her as she's crying, as she's being taken out of our country, and then the public turns against her.
We told you this is what he was going to do. We told you because we knew, because we read Project 2025. We told you this is what he's going to do. He said it all throughout the campaign trail. You ignored it. You heard what you wanted to hear. He's just going after the bad people. You are the bad people. You are here illegally. It is against the law to be in this country illegally. You are the bad people. If you have been able to obtain a natural citizenship, you came here illegally. You are the bad people. Yeah, he's going to overturn that. And then he's saying you can take your children who were born here legally with you because he doesn't want to split you all up. We tried to tell you.
So we've been talking a lot about Trump wanting to end birthright citizenship. The comment reads that Barron Trump was born March 20th, 2006. And a quick Google search will show that this is correct information. The commenter goes on to say that Melania Trump became an American citizen July 28th, 2006. According to Google, this is true as well. So yes, Barron was not born to an American mother. And according to the 14th Amendment, United States birthright citizenship can be acquired by two ways. One way is to be born on U.S. soil, and the other way is at least one of your parents are a U.S. citizen. We know that Melania Trump was not a U.S. citizen at the time that Barron was born. And according to Google, neither was Luka Doncic. So come to find out, Barron didn't have any parents who were U.S. citizens at the time of his birth. But lucky for Barron, he was born in Manhattan, New York, which is still considered the United States of America. So Barron is protected by our Constitution in the 14th Amendment when Trump plans.
Obamacare is lousy health care. It's very expensive health care for the people. It's also expensive for the country, but for the people. It's lousy health care.
Do you have an actual plan at this point for health care?
Yes, we have concepts of a plan that would be better.
Still just concepts? Do you have a fully developed plan?
Let me explain. We have the biggest healthcare companies looking at it. We have doctors. We're always looking because Obamacare stinks.
What he's saying here is a big deal. I mean, a record 20 million Americans signed up for Affordable Care Act coverage in 2024. A record number. That's a huge number of people. And there have been efforts since it was passed almost 15 years ago to undo it. But there has never been an actual workable alternative plan proposed. Trump himself clearly does not have any actual plan. We know that. And here's the thing. If you take Obamacare away, the Affordable Care Act away, whatever you want to call it, with no grand plan in place, what you are really doing is taking away health care coverage from millions of people. You're taking away coverage from people who have pre-existing conditions. You're taking away coverage from parents who cover their kids who are under the age of 26. You're taking away the ACA's Medicaid expansion, which would mean that more than 3 million adults across 9 states would be at immediate risk of losing health care coverage.
He's a very nasty, selfish son of a bitch. And that's what I'm going to say. It doesn't matter of the name. Okay? I don't even think he understands what affordable and Obamacare meant and what was the process of it to do. Okay? Because if he did, then he could have found a different relative a little bit more better. But the thing is, the name says Obama on it. So he feels threatened. The same thing he did in the last administration when he crossed out the name and put Trump care on it. All he worries about is being ego-driven. He does not care about the average individual people that needs the Obamacare or the affordable care. Okay? First and foremost, this care treats people with pre-existing illness. meaning that they had prior illness before, or they had illness that was hereditary from their offlines that they didn't even know or aware of. If you're a person that's diabetic, okay, regardless if you inherit it or not, how about children who are born with diabetes? Okay? So you mean to tell me if he eliminates the care, those children will not get their insulin or any of that stuff? And that's what he's trying to work on, to cut costs and corners so that he can turn around and save the cost of the money and invest it in something else that has nothing to do with the United States. For years, United States have been fighting for better health care insurance. The whole entire campaign of Obamacare was regulating that. And when he finally did it before term and made his promise, it became something that was a landmine, a remarkable history. They said they were even trying to do it in the time before Franklin Roosevelt, and also even at the time with John F. Kennedy. So it took them decades to finally come up with an affirmative plan for health care. Okay? Look how many people that have heart problems, heart diseases. Look how many people who went and got oral care in a part of Obama affordable care. And you know, oral care can be detrimental if it doesn't get checked out. All he cares about, but here's the thing, with all his money and being the fact that he's already a former member as a president and running again, do you know that he gets affordable care insurance? All of those senators do. Why you think they still continue on running the candidacy and running the department? Okay, and come up with all these committee lines because they need that health care insurance just like we do. Okay, you think their money pays their medical? No. It's that same Obamacare that pays for all universal coverage. It's just the fact that it was invented by a black man, but Obama didn't do it because he was black. He did it because he was a fellow American and he wanted to make sure that people have health care insurance and wanted companies to be responsible for those insurance. You're working all these years and you can't even have health care. And if he turns around and removes affordable care, that's also going to affect people with medical leave and sick leave, which was another thing that Bill Clinton incorporated. So all of that stuff came into a real stimulus package to help the needs of people. And the reporter asked him a simple question. She said, okay, if you don't want Obamacare or affordable care, what is your plan? And he does not have a plan. He's just a very mean individual and he's sickening. Okay? He just want to eliminate anything that is towards his enemies, the enemies that he created, the enemies that's in his mind. And if you don't think that he has a mental problem, you mean to tell me you wake up in the morning and you still are going against people that went against you, and you're not even looking at the scope of running this country and even helping the people in the country, the people that elected you. That's why I say he's very selfish. No matter how he has this interview, it's still not crystal clear. Because he says one thing and then he does something else. And this is what a social, narcissistic sociopath. I'm looking at the comments. But you see, there are followers in this country, okay, in this planet. And it's about 85% of them, okay? While the other 10% is making a brand to market off of them. And the 5% people, which is a small fraction of, is just sitting back and looking at the 85%. Because like I said, he turns around and manipulates and tell you what you want to hear. But when you turn around and want the proof to be in the pudding, because I'm that 5% that, yeah, you tell me this, I want to see it. It has to be black and white to me. Okay? I'm not going to take no for an answer or just take based on what you said because you have a position. No. This is an ongoing foolishness that goes on just because of him. And because of his whole entire reputation. Now, you're going to cut health care. What is the reason? And he can't even give a valid reason because you know what? There is no reason. The only reason is because of a personal vendetta. So you guys brought back Lucifer into the White House. And I'm going to say that. Lucifer back into the White House to cause nothing but insurrection and also damage control. Health care is the number one essential that helps a lot of people in the United States. Okay, healthcare is what is arranged. You know, you go to places like Canada and you go to England and they have universal health care. How come this country that shell out millions and billions of dollars turn around and don't have health care insurance? It doesn't matter what the name or who titled the name. It is what the conditions is to help people, individual people who are sick or even come up with an illness or something happened to them or whatever. Look how many elderly people that's in this country. Look how many, you think hospitalization when you go into the hospital for entering in the door is about $1,000. For the doctor to see you is another $1,000. For medical and assessments and even being in that stretcher bed, and if they have to admit you, that's going up to $10,000. Do you honestly think that people have money to pay co-payment payments to pay that? If they can't even pay their rent and pay food? Look at cancer patients. For chemo alone, look at the bill alone. Look at insulin. You know, Bernie Sanders had to take a group of people on a bus ride to go to Canada. And this happened last year. And while he was on the bus ride, he saw that the cost of prescription medication was far less. Meanwhile, during the Trump administration, he had all of his big friends investing in diabetic medication. And Biden turned around and he justified that situation because he said that is ridiculous. And then he changed it back into Trump Care. And he turned around and changed the name to Affordable Care just to be neutral about the situation. Now he has no clue and he has no direction of where the healthcare is supposed to be. Leave the shit alone and concentrate on something else. There's two things that he needs to stop. Cutting costs for Social Security, Medicare, and healthcare, and also education. Leave it alone. Also leave alone with the Taft situation. Okay? You can't get no money nowhere. You already set for life. You have a debt that you have to pay that you still haven't paid. And I'm referring to this man right here. This interview really didn't make any sense because some of the stuff doesn't make no sense. And 9/10 of the time, he's not telling the truth. You have to put a lie detector on his back to see whether he's telling the truth or not. He's a very nasty.
I joined a white supremacist organization in prison. I know this sounds absolutely crazy, but in my heart of hearts, even when joining this organization, I never believed myself to be racist. And I want to get into this, but first, let's clear some misconceptions. No, you do not have to join a gang in prison. I know there's this common misconception that if you are white and in prison, you must run with your race. That's not the way prisons work in Florida. In fact, I did about 10 calendar years altogether in the Florida Department of Corrections. I never joined an organization until after about 7 years in. So when I joined, it was at the height of the Black Lives Matters movement and when Trump was campaigning for presidency again. In fact, Trump called the Black Lives Matters movement a symbol of hate. And at that time, I believed that. I believed that we were tolerant of every other demographic of people in this country unless you were a white, straight, Christian, conservative male. If you were one of these people, like I was, then you were under attack. I joined this organization because I thought that I was being pro my people, that I was having white pride, that it was okay for everybody to have black pride and brown pride and gay pride, but we could not have white pride. Unfortunately for me at the time, I was highly uneducated and misguided. I didn't understand that white pride was literally rooted in the politics of white supremacy. White pride was built on the oppression of other marginalized groups in this country. Black pride and brown pride was built to survive that oppression. Most of your predominantly black gangs was built to survive police brutality and the government during these times of oppression and discrimination. And right now in 2024, there are millions of other white folks who feel exactly how I felt then. And they don't have to go to the point of joining a gang. All they have to do is wear their red hats. You see, me, like many other white folks in this country, didn't believe that I was racist, homophobic, transphobic, or xenophobic. I would say I can't be racist. I have black friends. I'm not homophobic. Just stop shoving it down our throats. I don't care if you're trans. Just keep them out of women's sports, even though this is a non-issue. I'm not against immigrants. Just do it the right way. There's a lot of depth and nuance to this conversation, but the average white American, the average conservative, in their heart of hearts, They are well-intentioned. They do not believe that they are upholding the politics of white supremacy. However, when you are so used to being the main character in the story, when you're so used to being the standard and the center of the narrative, diversity, equity, and inclusion, giving other people a seat at the table or normalizing their existence begins to feel like discrimination and oppression. And this is why we've seen such a strong backlash to any movement that promotes equality and equity, any movement that promotes diversity. You see white people double down in their anger and fight back. And when we have the ability to recognize our nation's history and the willingness to do something different, it doesn't mean that you hate yourself or that you're carrying white guilt. It just means that we've reached a point where we're willing to decenter ourselves in the conversation and listen and validate someone else's experience. Look at it through the lens of someone else's perspective. And like I've always said, Donald Trump didn't make anybody racist. He didn't make anybody homophobic, transphobic, or xenophobic. He just emboldened those people to be the people that they already were. All of these phobias and isms are deeply rooted in the very fabric of this nation. It's in our institutions. It's in our systems. It's who we are as a nation. And the only time we'll ever get real unity in this country, actionable change, is when we become willing to deconstruct and re-educate ourselves. Start with a blank canvas.
So this is all I got from this video, right? And I really do not know, it's just that some people are really very adamant. And being adamant also showed on how they voted, right? I love the fact that this man has really been very consistent with his plans. And his plans has really been there right from onset. Some people refuse to read. And also some people refuse to listen, right? Now, Project 2025 was something a lot of people ignored. I'm sorry to say that, but majority people ignored that. Why? Because they felt Project 2025 was not real. Some people argued back, forth, and all that it was not real. And I remember that since 2023, you see Project 2025, I started talking about Project 2025 in 2023. If you have been following me, you definitely will know that it's true. So we did not start. Most content creators that know what has been going on, especially Black content creators, been saying this since 2023, because that was when the Project 2025 started, right? And then from 2023 to 2024, it became serious. Some people refused to listen. Now, you all heard it, because I saw some people also writing in the comment section asking me if they are also going to send good people home, and good Latinos and all that home, or people without crime, or people that haven't done anything. And I also saw somebody wrote maybe somebody got a ticket. Would that also help in sending the person home and all that? See, let me tell you all. I mean, you all think you are playing and joking with a cent, but I am glad that it's all happening to you people. Black content creators went far and wide, going on the street, trying to educate majority of you, and some of ignorant, some of you were busy arguing. Tariff, they told you people about tariff, right? I saw people talking about that. And this Project 2025 about deportation, it was also there, right? Which they also mentioned. Now, you all heard what he said. He said that even if a child is a legal American citizen and the mother is not, and because they do not want to probably separate mother and child, right? They are sending both of you home. They are sending you all home. So it's really going to be tough. Some people think it's a joke. It is not a joke. Obamacare also was also in Project 2025. Nobody's making all this up. I also talked about it, right? So it's also in Project 2025. And I remember Black men, those Black educated men, not just that, I saw them calling out Black youth, Problem is that some people do not have time to read, or they just don't want to read, right? They call them, it was like all of them in a setting, and they opened Project 2025, right? And they were showing them, they would tell them, open this particular page, open this place, open this place. All of them, majority, like all of them read it and said, no, this is not what we are going for, right? And some of them understood that they have their parents that are benefiting from Obamacare. There are some with pre-existing conditions, diabetes, and also where like my parents are diabetic and we cannot even afford to go to normal. If they cut off this Obamacare, it means we are ruined, like we are done. Right? That is people that listen. And because Black men also listen, right? We also saw it on their votes. It reflected. But the ones that thought that it is us wanting to benefit from everything, when Black people are not even at risk of being deported. Why? Because they are indigenous, they are also Americans. Are they not? They are Americans. So they are not bothered. So if deportation was something that is going to happen, they also were trying to avoid it from happening to other people. But you all thought, they are joking. They don't know what they are doing. Of course, they don't know what they are doing. Now we see who knew better what they are doing and what they are not doing, right? Now, see, I don't know why you all better be getting ready. Get your children ready because you all be going home real soon with your kids. You all be going real home soon. You heard it from the horse's mouth. Nobody's trying to make this up. And some people are still going to come back to say that our Black people are trying to make fun of you people. Who is making fun of you? Are you not even making fun? If I were you or your brother, I definitely would be making fun of ourselves because you all messed up. So are you not looking at yourself and laughing so hard and how stupid some people voted? And you all have the nerves to start calling Black people that Black people are laughing at you people. Like how? If I were even them, I will laugh at you people. Like I will laugh. Laugh and laugh. Drop and continue. Because you all messed yourselves up. Sincerely speaking. So yeah. I said, let me bring this to you because I know I see major also Hispanics. I see you people, Latin. I see you people also watching my videos. I also see your comments too, right? So you all can also see this. And for those that voted against their own interest, you can send it to them so they can hold their hearts with this. Like, feel good. It's winter, right? Weather is pretty cold. So feel good with this. So the cold, maybe it can quench your cold by the time you start heating up because you all thought it was a joke, right? Now it's turning to reality and you all are running helter skelter looking for who that is laughing and who that is not laughing. I ain't nobody got time for you. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.